to color the circuit breaker. Oh, this is something I haven't talked about it at all. So the circuit breakers have 3 states. You think, well, it's either on or off, so what's the third state? That's stupid. Thing is, you can, of course, the default is the circuit breaker is pushed in, everything is energized, the system has electric energy, everything's working. If there's a fault, the circuit breaker pops out. If it is out, there's no electrical connection, nothing is working. And you can secure the circuit breaker in the popped out status by putting a little plastic collar around it. So, well, if you think of the circuit breaker is coming out of the panel with its neck, and you put a collar on its neck, that's why it's called that, then you can't push it back in again in flight. And this is how you set a system inoperative for the rest of the flight. And hopefully Javier will be able to model this in the 3D model soon as well. So coloring circuit breakers. Yeah, obviously, if you set it to color, you can no longer click it in the cockpit because it's failed. And this is basically how we do it for basically all of the other systems. All right, let's look a bit. So this animation, I think, is not. Yeah, it's not clickable yet, but I think it's animated. So if I just pick the data ref editor for the bleed air test, what's it called? No, it's not. It's CRJ, not 14's bleed. I don't know. Bleed 14's no. Ductmon, I think that's it. I think if I turn this to -1, it should turn the knob to the test position. Let's see. Yep, it does that.
Bleed air duct. Anti-ice duct. Bleed air duct. Anti-ice duct.
So I hope you were able to hear the oral warnings that came up. So as you can see here, there's quite a lot of red indicators here. Also in the overhead panel, a few red lights came on. And what this is doing is, this is basically also, it's a fire detection loop as well. It detects for an overheat condition in the bleed air system. And on the actual ECS page, we should also have a couple of red warnings. Yep, there you go. This is where it thinks there's an overheat condition now. Obviously, because I set the test switch. What was it called? Duct monitor. Okay, and if I bring that switch back to the center, of course, everything is restored to normal. What else is a good switch that I can demonstrate? As you have noticed, there's quite a few more oral warnings now, and there's actually a test switch here which also Javi hasn't animated yet. So again, I have to use the data ref editor to actually use the switch. What's it called? Oral warn test, or just warn overheat test? I have actually no idea what the switch is called. Fire test? No. Stall test? Oh, stall test is a good one. Because this one is also a very great sound. So the stall test is behind here. And this will test the stall warning and the stick shaker. And of course, so the rattling sound is of course the stick shaker working. We don't have an animation yet to actually make the yoke shake, but I'm pretty sure Javier will be able to do that. Lamp test, obviously that already works. I have no idea what that stupid oral test switch is called. Air, APU, autopilot. Nope. Barrow, bleed. Cargo, fire. All the FMS buttons. Display select. Oh yeah, display selection also works, so you can flip over displays from one side to the other. So that stuff works. Yeah, here you can see all the bus states and which bus powers which one. It's quite easy to see that from the data refs as well. Emergency lights, emergency stall. Yeah, APR, the power recovery in case of one engine failure after takeoff, that works. Flight control, fire, FMS, buttons. Fuel system, yeah. Hydraulics, ice detection. Yep, also ice detection works. Landing gear bay overheat. That's a good one. Yep, that also works. And the way it is modeled is it tracks the amount of wheel braking you use on the ground, obviously after landing, or for rejected takeoff. So it tracks how much energy is absorbed by the brake discs and tracks the temperature of those. And if you retract the gear and that closes, of course, the gear doors, and you put the landing gear in with very hot brake disc with a very high temperature. What this will do is it'll run up the temperature in the landing gear bay, and then you will get the corresponding warning, obviously. Yeah, that's also a very good one. Electric buses. I have no idea where the test button for the oral warnings is on. Anyway, all right. For a final demonstration, I realize we've been sitting here for, I don't know, like 2 hours with nothing turned on. The engine's not turned on. I will briefly walk you through an engine start with a broken APU, because the APU on the CRJ is famously rubbish and breaks often, and so it's not unheard of to have to start the CRJ based on ground air. And to make things a little bit more exciting, I will demonstrate how to start up the CRJ with ground air but no ground power with a broken APU. And that does a few things that are quite surprising. So let's do this. I bring up the CDU again here, and let's see. So as I said, we connect the external. Why is that? Geez, yeah, I have no joystick connected to this computer right now, so I'm constantly in mouse joystick mode. That's annoying. All right, so we have no ground power, but we have external high pressure air. So I'll turn that on. I'll turn all the APU stuff off. So, oh, you know what this is? Why this light came on? Yeah, we have been extracting fuel for the APU from one tank, and now it sensed a little bit of imbalance, and now it's pumping fuel between the tanks to restore balance. All right, so close the IPU isolation, close the APU LCV, and if you go to the status screen, you will see that the APU EGT goes down because we are no longer extracting bleed air from it. I will now turn off the APU generator, which means we're going to lose all the AC power, and we'll be back on DC power only. And this, of course, brings a lot of warnings, as you can see here. And we're now going to power down the APU and, of course, say that it has failed. So turn off that switch. Turn off all the hydraulic pumps and stuff. And as you can see, the PFD and ND have gone dark again, obviously. All right, so we have only one ignition system because only one is powered by DC power. And what is even more remarkable is that only one oil pressure sensor is on DC power. And you have to know which one. Because if you are starting on external air with DC power only and you start the engine of which the oil pressure sensor has no power, you get no indication of oil pressure on this engine. And of course, I have forgotten which one it is. So I get this very important book here. This book, the CRJ200 Aircraft System Study Guide. This is the book that you use for passing a CRJ200 type rating exam. And all these bits of paper in the book here. This is the bug tracker. So this is an actual study guide of questions that they ask in a CRJ200 type rating exam. And all those bits of paper here are the questions that where the CRJ in Explain gives a different answer than would be correct on the test. So obviously, the goal is for this list of paper to become empty, so you can actually answer every single question from this book just using the CRJ in Explain. All right, so bus priority system. So which one is the because I know this is a question on the test, and of course I have forgotten the answer already. TU rating. Those are static inverter. There you go. So the battery bus powers ignition B through a static inverter. This is why ignition system B is used when only DC power is available for start. Exactly. That is the one that we are. That is the situation we are in right now. And yeah, here it is. This is what I've been looking for. Here it says DC power is the